On the bayou, mournful darkness gives way to desolate dawn. A solitary figure stands watching. Who is this misshapen creature? This muck-encrusted mockery of a man? Visions tumble through the dark corridors of his mind. Of Dr. Alec Holland, the man he once was. Of his lovely wife, Dr. Linda Holland, partner in research, co-worker in constructing a biorestorative formula. A formula so secret, so significant, it could cause men to kill. Visions of the flaming explosion, fiery chemicals seeping through fragile flesh, driving the burning man form into the soothing ooze of the swamp. He has become a hideous monster, reborn from the slimy bogs, hunted, haunted, doomed forever to be Swamp Thing. The saga of the Swamp Thing. The darkness cries, a long, mournful wail that writhes through the gnarled cypress branches like a breath of Hades' wind, skipping over the placid surface of the stagnant mire below. This is bayou country, a swampy, desolate marshland forsaken by civilized man, now inhabited by far less demanding creatures. Screaming herons stretch their sleek wings toward the angry heavens. Mottled bullfrogs sing their croaking night song in eager anticipation. Great reptiles loll uncaringly beneath the cloud-cloaked moon. And this night, this rainy, wind-swept night, impatient humanity intrudes itself into this primitive region once more. Humanity and something far less than human. The misshapen monstrosity presses deeper into the shadows surrounding the single wooden structure that rises from the bog, and his puzzled mind fairly crackles with thought.
They will return. Those who killed me, they will return. And I will be waiting.
Silently, the creature lurches forward into a driving wind and a rain filled with memories.
That house, that smirking shell of a house, stands there taunting me, laughing as if it were responsible for all that has happened here.
Color the first day, a bright blue, crisp, shining, full of promise and open-eyed dreams. Well, Doctors Holland, there it is. Only a refurbished barn, but we didn't have much notice of your coming.
We understand, Lieutenant Cable. Washington wants to keep our presence here top secret. Seems we're priority one merchandise.
Alec, please, you make us sound like something at a shopper's sale.
Maybe you are, Mrs. Holland. The work you two are doing in biorestorative research is invaluable to the government. That's why we're stashing you here in this suburb of nowhere, to keep you out of the hands of other prospective shoppers. Oh, by the way, if you hear traffic, don't let it spook you. There'll be a patrol car in the area constantly. Wouldn't want to lose the merchandise.
Alec, let's go inside.
Gleaming new door hinges, wide open as the husband-wife research team enters the resurrected stable, their voices echoing hollow among the rafters.
Thought of everything, didn't they? We've got enough equipment here for a dozen Dr. Frankensteins. Seems almost a shame we're not building a monster.
Silly. I only hope they remembered to stock a refrigerator, because right now this little scientist is starving.
Evening, a few days later, and the project is well underway.
Well, sweetheart, what do you think? Are we ready to try it?
Theoretically, yes, but I wouldn't want you to quote me. I hate to be proven wrong.
But if we're right, Larger quantities of our chemical will be used to create gardens out of sweltering deserts. And that is definitely worth the effort. Well, can I quote you now? The compound worked better than... Matt Cable at the door. Well, we better let him in, Linda.
Dr. Holland, my name is Ferret. My associates and I would like a word with you if we could, in private.
Hold on, friend. There's supposed to be a car patrolling this area. Just how did you and your cronies get past?
Please, Dr. Holland, we have more important things to discuss. We three represent a private organization interested in purchasing your biorestorative formula. So interested, in fact, we've been authorized to offer you a blank check for the exclusive rights. And if I were you, Dr. Holland, I'd accept our offer.
But you're not me, friend, and our formula isn't for sale.
Perhaps you can be convinced otherwise, Doctor. Bruno convinced the gentleman.
You'd better save the convincing, Farrah, because we got company and there's another car coming down the road.
To cut our little chat short, Doctor, but we really have to run. Why don't you think about accepting our generous offer? You would save us all a lot of trouble if you do. We'll be seeing you, Dr. Holland, soon. The sound of one car motor dies away to be replaced by the roar of another. Then...
Cable, it's about time you got here.
Sorry I'm late, but the patrolman thought he saw an unregistered car in the area. We were checking it out.
You should have checked here first. 3 very unfriendly people were just here attempting to buy our formula.
What? And you let them get away? You should have notified the patrol guard immediately.
I'm afraid we were a trifle busy at the time, Lieutenant.
Yeah? Well, let me tell you something. That conversation we had about you two being merchandise was no joke. You're commodities, Doctor. You and your wife, to be bought, sold, or traded by whoever can manage to own you. When you're finished here, Doctor, the country that controls your formula will be able to control the world. Think about that. Think how many people would do anything to hold your secret in their hands. And think how many people would rather see you dead than to let their enemies have your formula. Remember that, Doctor. They'd rather see you dead. Next time you open that door, you'd better know who's behind it.
Don't you think Lieutenant Cable was being overly melodramatic, Alec?
I'm not so sure, Linda. Those 3 gangster movie rejects didn't threaten us for practice. Hey, do you hear what I hear?
Someone's mowing around outside. But it can't be Matt Cable. He drove away 10 minutes ago. Alec, what are you doing?
Just taking precautions, Linda. You remember what Cable said. There's something outside that door, and I'm going to find out what it is.
But as the wary scientist flings open the door...
There's your killer, Alec. An old hound dog.
Well, it might just as well be a murderer. The blasted thing almost scared me to death.
Alec, how can you say that? The poor darling looks lost and hungry. Can we keep him?
Are you kidding? We're off limits to everybody. I mean, look at the mutt. It's dirty and flea-bitten and don't look at me with those soulful eyes. The answer is no. I mean it, Linda. We're not keeping that... Oh, what's the use? You know, for a woman scientist, you sure fight dirty. You can have the shaggy mutt. And I ought to have my head examined.
No, Dr. Holland. You ought to have the dog's head examined. Then perhaps you would find the tiny radio transmitter we planted there. Perhaps, but I doubt it. Louisiana Blue to Mr. E, reporting as instructed. The Hollands have taken in the dog as expected, enabling us to monitor their lab at all times. Everything proceeding on schedule.
Splendid, Agent Blue. You've done well. As soon as the good doctors complete their experimentation, you know what must be done. Send Ferret around to see them again with a repeat of our offer. If we can get the formula without any difficulty, all well and good. But if not, the Conclave has many enterprises that would be jeopardized by outside use of that compound. Thus, if we can't have it, nobody will. The Hollands and their formula must be destroyed. But when Ferret and his cohorts attempt to renew their offer... But, Dr. Holland, we came to you in good faith.
Save it for the boys in blue, Ferret. My wife and I'll sleep a lot better knowing you 3 are behind bars.
Sorry we can't accommodate you, Doc. Bruno, take him.
He will not bother us, Ferret.
Swell, then we can plant our little surprise package and get the heck away from this dump.
Agreed. I want to be miles from here when our gracious gift blows.
For a time, darkness reigns. And when Dr. Alec Holland crawls out of the Shadowland at last...
Oh, feels like they dropped a mountain on my head. Hey, seems my playmates have decided to skip out. I wonder why they... Oh, my dear God, that thing is ticking. Gotta try to defuse it before...
Imagine pain, so intense it defies description, as countless unclassified chemicals seep deep into throbbing, fume-enveloped flesh.
Oh, my God! Oh, my dear God!
Imagine what such terrible suffering can do to the fragile mind, as it drives the stricken body forward, clawing desperately at the cool night air in hopes of some small comfort. Imagine relief as the smoldering man-shape reaches the soothing waters of the ever-present bog, then disappears soundlessly beneath its bubbling surface. A bitter wind whistles past the handful of saddened forms who stand together before a freshly filled grave.
Poor Alec. If only I had been there, maybe...
It wouldn't have helped, Mrs. Holland. Linda, the bomb destroyed every trace of your husband. If you had been there, it would have finished you too. Come on, let's head back to the lab.
Look at this place. Spotlessly clean. You can hardly tell a man died here a few days ago. A good man. My man. My poor, dedicated Alec.
They put it back together as quickly as they could, Linda. Didn't want to lose any time on the project.
Of course, the project. That goes on regardless, doesn't it, Cable? Nobody cares about the people that live or die here. Only the miserable project.
I'm afraid so, Linda. But with Alec gone, you're the only one left who can handle it. Now we'd better get out of the rain. Funny, when I was a kid, it used to rain like this. Dark, chilling. As if the sky were alive and living, felt pain. It feels that way again, tonight. And lady, I don't like it. Rain. Some say it cleanses the all-too impure earth. Others proclaim it the sorrow of the gods, regretting the tragedy their golden hands have wrought. The tragedy that has long been known as man. But those who dwell in this timeless land care not for idle opinion. They're contented to bask in the seeming torrent until something sudden disturbs their repose, something that claws its way out of the grasping mire and into the light once more. Something that pulls itself upright on unsteady legs, searching its cloudy mind for a fragment of memory, then pauses, studying its gnarled, misshapen hands, examining the clusters of root, the crumbling chunks of moss, and in that frightening, mind-shattering second knows what it has become. A muck-encrusted, shambling mockery of life. A twisted caricature of humanity that can only be called Swamp Thing. But travesty though it may be, the creature breathes and thinks.
Must be logical. Must gather my thoughts. Explosion should have killed me. It didn't. Why? Why? The formula. Biorestorative. On the table when it blew. They said it could make forests out of deserts, and it did. It did. Chemical mingled with my flesh, reacted with swamp ooze, turned me into what? The lab still stands and lights are on. Linda will be there. She'll know what to do. She'll help me.
Determinedly, the monstrosity lumbers closer to the barn, close enough to see.
That reflection in the glass can't be. Oh!
Strange. Could have sworn I heard something out there. Probably just the wind in the cypress trees. but I'd better watch it. I'm letting those childhood nightmares get to me. Next thing you know, I'll be seeing boogeymen and bug-eyed monsters.
Couldn't let Linda see me, not the way I am. Better to stay in the shadows and keep watch in the house. They will be back, the ones who thought they killed me. Ferret and the others will be back, and I will be waiting.
Wait! You silly dog, come back here. Oh.
Save your breath, Linda. It can't hear you. Got a flea in its ear, I guess. I'll go fetch it, but I want you to bolt the door behind me while I'm gone.
Run, dog. Follow your master's voice.
Unaware of the silent commands drawing the hound onward, Matt Cable moves through the downpour in determined pursuit. You stupid mutt, where are you? Come back here before you kill yourself. There are bugs in this area. They... Listen to me, trying to rationalize with a dog. I'm going... Unless that pooch has started wearing size 12 work shoes, there's somebody prowling around the lab. And if I figure to earn my salary, I'd better find out who it is. But as the security officer returns to the lab...
Sorry, mister, but Bruno has his orders.
That noise outside. Cable, is that you? Did you find the dog? Who?
Afraid your friend isn't gonna be finding anything for a while, little lady, but that's okay, because right now you and I have things to discuss alone.
Alone. Is there a more terrible word? All this waiting. Alone. No one to talk to. If I can talk, that is. I wonder if... There's something out there, in the bog. Linda's dog, sinking in the mire. Hold on, little one. I'll get you out. Wouldn't want Linda to lose you, too. She'd... No! Linda! Linda, if they've hurt you... The lab. Got to get back to the lab. Maybe it's not too late.
But when the shambling monstrosity bursts into the silent structure...
Linda! 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 It's my fault. My fault. If only I hadn't gone for the dog. If I hadn't turned away.
Then the roar of an automobile churning down the road cuts through the silence. And the massive man monster answers its growling call.
Stop!
Ferret, what is that thing?
Don't ask me, Brenner, just run it down.
Stop! I said stop! Them again. Ferret and his friend, the ones who killed me and my Linda.
That monster's not human. Not human.
Not human, no. I'm not. And you are the ones who made me that way.
No! No!
Fragile bone and cartilage shatter beneath the weight of a moss-encrusted fist. And...
It's finished, Bruno, but it won't get me. All right, you filthy monster, turn around and face me. I want to see the look in your eyes when you die. Come on, monster, die. Why won't you die? Die, 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 die. Oh, my God.
And when Ferret's screaming has finally stopped...
You can't kill a dead man, Ferret. And the man I was is most definitely dead. Maybe you'll rest easier now, Linda. Maybe we both will. Huh? Oh, it's Cable, that blasted fool.
Okay, you thing! Hands high! You're under arrest for murder, and you're coming with me.
No, Cable, I'm afraid not. Much as I want to, I can't go with you. And Lord help me, I can't take you with me.
Come back here, you monster! Come back! All right, monster. You got away from me this time. But we'll meet again. And next time, there'll be nobody to slug me with a shovel. Next time, I'll get some answers. You hear me, monster? Do you hear me?
I hear you, Matt, but I have no answers to give. Dr. Alec Holland had all the answers. He was an intelligent man. But Alec Holland is dead. And in his place stands only a swamp.